flashbacks. Yeah, real bad.
This way, everybody. Now, making a little bit of silence as we walk by the other group here. Part of what I try to do is maintain a little courtesy. You know, don't speak with the other groups who are around or speak so loudly as to interfere. So we're just going to walk by. That area over there, they've been working on it for the past week or so. Looks like it's finally been opened up. They decided to do some repairs on the sidewalk. And in a typical example of the way things operate here in the South, they decided to finish up the sidewalk, do the construction, right in the middle of one of our busiest tourist seasons of the year. Yeah. I don't know. Now let's see. I know where you folks are from. I know where you folks are from. Where are you from? Orlando. Okay, okay. Yeah, well this way I know.
Where from?
Tampa.
Tampa. Tomorrow I will go there.
I'm sorry?
Tomorrow I will go there.
They're very far away from Florida.
Yeah.
We were in Tampa 2 days ago.
Oh, really?
2 days ago. Oh.
First shot.
Oh, we are from Kalamazoo.
Alright, now, behind this wall here, this is the Spanish bakery. You can stop on by here at lunchtime, get yourself a nice, authentic Spanish-style meal. It's one of my favorite places. And with this door over here, leads to a kind of shortcut. There's a little route people can use walking through the courtyard to the back of the bakery, and there's a parking lot there. People who work on St. George Street, they can move back and forth through that lot to their jobs here in the various stores. Right over here, what you're looking at, that's the Spanish Colonial Quarter Museum. Used to be where there was a small community theater located. And you had individuals whose job it was to load, unload props, costumes, things like that. And they owned a van, which would be parked back over there. One evening, the fellow whose job this was, his name is Garrett Peck. Garrett's walking back and forth through the courtyard, and he sees someone back there he does not recognize. A woman dressed in colonial Spanish-type costume, like late 17th century, early 18th, that sort of thing. And she's taking laundry out of a basket, hanging it up on a line. And most of us in this town who are in this line of work, costume drama people, reenactors, storytellers, guides, we kind of know one another. If we don't know one another by name, we know one another at least on sight. Garrett had no idea who this person was. So he just sort of says, hello, you know, from a distance. My name's Garrett. Who are you? Nothing. She just continues to take the laundry and hang it up. Well, Garrett doesn't think this to be all that strange, because right up the road from here is the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind. And sometimes the students or teachers, they'll take a little part-time work downtown helping out with our hearing-impaired visitors. So we figured, okay, that's probably it. She can't hear me. So he gets into her line of sight and does this sort of wave thing, hello, hello, and still nothing. And Garrett's very confused. He's just sort of going, okay, I know I'm ugly as sin, and that's reason enough to ignore me completely, but is she blind as well? And then he notices that her long flowing dress is just kind of billowing and blowing in the breeze. But there's one problem with this picture. There's no breeze, that's right. And Garrett suddenly has one of those kind of moments because he knows he's looking at a ghost. He immediately runs over to his friends over here at the theater. And he says to them, guys, you gotta come see this. There's a ghost in the courtyard. And naturally, his friends aren't quite believing. Garrett You know, you're supposed to start drinking when you're done loading the van, not while you're loading the van. Well, it takes a little convincing, but he gets 4 of his buddies back there, and then there's 5 guys in the courtyard all going, "Yoo-hoo! Hello! Mrs. Whitey!" Still nothing. Now, by this time, however, she's taking the laundry off the line, and she's piled it up in a basket, and then she just walks away through... I'm hunting wabbits. Now, that's a good one, actually. More on that in a moment. She then disappears right through a locked door. Now, the laundry lady has not been seen in quite some time, but we do believe that she is still back here, still doing her laundry for all eternity. Horrible fate if ever I could think of one. This way. Especially since I'm wearing black. Okay. Now, what we have over here, this is the De Mesa Sanchez house. It's an original colonial structure going right back to the year of 1764. See, it says here right on the plaque. A lot of the colonial buildings that you see here, they look like colonial structures, but they're not. They're actually reconstructions. This one, however, is the real deal. They do tours here. People can take a look around in here. And every so often, there is a room in the back of the building that little girls have walked into, and then they run out of that room screaming at the top of their lungs. For they have encountered what psychics tell us is a bubble of evil in that very room. Now, we know that many years ago, there was once a little girl in a tub, and she drowned in that tub. Well, she didn't just simply slide underneath like from a seizure or any kind of medical issue, no. She was pushed under. She was murdered, drowned. And we do believe it is this poor, tormented little soul. That's what these children are running into. Now, brings up a point I like to mention. Usually children are the ones who are most sensitive to the presence of ghosts. We don't have any with us this evening, unless you are all children at heart, I suppose. But usually the ones who are most sensitive are girls under the age of 12. Sometimes you have other individuals of different backgrounds who can be more sensitive. Not always, just a general kind of thing. Children, women tend to be more sensitive. People with a Latino background, sometimes more sensitive. People with Native American backgrounds, a bit more sensitive. And people with Asian backgrounds are sometimes a bit more sensitive, too. Yeah, you knew I just had to put them on the spot, didn't you? Anyhow, you know, and even so, even with this, there are sometimes people who suddenly realize, whoa, I just saw a ghost. I just sensed something when nothing like that ever happened before. So, while we're walking around, you know, if you could all do me a favor, you know, if you sense something that is scary, spooky, frightening, see something like that, and I'm not necessarily talking about me here, it might very well be the real deal. So please, you let me know if something like that comes around? If you do, okay, good, because then we can all just kind of run! But I don't want you worrying, because the great majority of the ghosts in this town, they are not harmful, they are not violent, they're not out to get you in any way, shape, or form. They're just very playful and very mischievous. Usually they are. Yeah, that's why I have a wooden lantern.
Usually.
This way. A bit about that building over there. That is the Benet store. It's a popular gift shop here on St. George Street. Inside of the building, you'll find that there's some stairs that go to the upstairs part of the building. Storage and inventory. Guests are not allowed up there. For quite some time, there used to be a pair of standard white poodles that would hang out at the base of the stairs leading to the upstairs part of the building. And people would see these dogs, and they would always reach out to give them a little pat on the forehead, a little scratch under the chin, and then their hand goes right through the dog's head. Now, I have a feeling after this happening repeatedly over and over again, the dogs went up there and stayed there. They haven't been seen in quite some time. they probably got very annoyed by all the hands going through their heads. You know, I would find that to be a little bit annoying. I think that people might find that to be frightening, but the dog's annoying. You know, I agree with them. You know, a hand through my head is a terrible violation of my privacy, after all. Now, one other thing I also wanted to mention that along the way, you got a piece of that earlier with the one going, be very, very quiet. Every now and then, we have people in this town who have nothing better to do with their lives than harass the tourists at night. And I have no idea why this is. Maybe they just don't like their day jobs. I just don't know. So, and they'll do things like go, blah, you know, boo. That one was actually very creative, better than usual. When that happens, I usually refer to that as a spot the loser kind of moment. So if that does happen again, if somebody boos us, you're perfectly welcome to go like that. This way, everybody. And something else I wanted to point out here while you were staying in St. Augustine, just some rules about St. George Street. You might not have brought this stuff with you from where you are, but I should let you know anyway. No riding bicycles, and no rolling around on your roller skates or your rollerblades. But very importantly, we don't want to see any angry eyes. No angry eyes. We're a happy town here.
Okay.
This way.